Welcome to some more nerd shit you probably don't care about. Um, I posted on the Facebook group about Fix-It Sticks and the torque limiters and how I tested this one with a Molework digital torque screwdriver, and it was completely off from what the torque indications were on this. Somebody responded and made the suggestion to get a Wheeler digital torque screwdriver. So I did that because I wanted to give this as fair a shake as I can. I feel pretty strongly that when I say that I recommend something or I don't recommend something, that, you know, if somebody else listens to me and they experience something that I hadn't anticipated, then I feel pretty bad about that because somebody made a choice based on my recommendation. So I wanted to make this as fair as possible. Well, normally I would take the Wheeler and I would check it versus my Molework, but the Molework stopped working today, so I had to return it. I did check the Molework versus this Pittsburgh clicky style torque ratchet, and I will say that those two lined up fairly good. So the first thing I'm going to do is check this out. So this is set for currently 15 inch-pounds. So let's put it up to 20 because that is what the lowest torque setting on this wrench is. So we'll set that. And we'll check this out. So I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this click over because it's pretty quiet. And this actually makes noise when you get close to your torque setting. So I'm going to hold this still and I'm going to hope that you can actually either hear the click or you can see the handle of the torque ratchet move relative to the head. So we'll see here. There, it's moved over. You didn't hear the click. I maxed out at 29 inch-pounds. So we'll try it again. There, it clicked. That was at 26 inch-pounds. There, it clicked. That was at 27. So what I found out was that the Pittsburgh, which lined up with the Molework fairly well, does not align with the Wheeler very well. I have this Wheeler here, which, let's set it to 20. See if you can see it. Let's try this one out. That maxed out at 14. That's also 14.1 or less. That was 14.1 as well. So that begs the question, are the Molework, this one and this one off and this one's on? Was the Molework and this one on and then this one's off? Well, as you can see, this wrench has been used quite well. Beat up a little bit. So I don't know, we'll see. We're gonna use this and test versus the Fix-It Sticks and go from there. So let's set this back to 15. And we will run the line up to the 15, and then I'll pull this off and we will check the max torque, see how close it is. Now, this Wheeler is supposed to be within 2%. So assuming the Wheeler is right and the Fix-It Stick is right, we should be looking at 14.7 to 15.3 foot-pounds or inch-pounds of torque on this. So that's lined up right there. And we've got 12.4. So let's try it again. That's 12.7. And that's another 12.7. So we're roughly 2.3 inch-pounds light at 15, which is much better than what I originally checked it at. And we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and change this to 25, because that's the next setting on the Fix-It stick. $25, we'll wait for it to stop flashing. Here we go. Let's take a look. So that looks like it's lined up to me. And we're at 23.2. So check it a second time. 22.8. And 23. So that is also much closer than what we saw with the mole work as well. So let's go ahead and increase this to 35. We'll wait for it to stop flashing. And let's go ahead and check it. Right there's where I have it lined up. That's 33.5. That's where I have it lined up. 33.8. And a third time. 34.2. So 34.3 is within 2%. So that's gotten a little bit more accurate as we've gone on here. Now I'm going to take this off and rotate it one slot just so that you could see the numbers a little bit easier. I think the light is making it a little bit hard for you to see with the glare. Next up is going to be 45. Wait for it to stop flashing. There we go. Let's check 45. So that's lined up for me. 44.6. It's lined up. 44.6 again. Right there. 44.6. So 45 inch-pounds with a plus or minus 2%, assuming that this is correct, would put us between 44.1 and 45.9. So that's within 2% of what this says. Now we're going up to 55. It's actually doing a lot better than I thought it was going to do. After the first test, I thought that these were just way out to lunch, but it appears that the Torx screwdriver I was using the first time around was farther out to lunch. All right, so we're at 55. So let's go ahead and get that torqued up. So that's right at 55 on the line. I don't know if you can see that. 57.3. 55.8. That says 60, but something hung up in here. So we're going to try that a fourth time just to see. And that was 54.3. So I'm going to go with, let's do it one more time. 54.2. So 54.2, 54.3 to be within 2%. We'd need to be 53.9 to 56.1, and we are at 54.3, so that's really good. Now, I did, full disclosure, try this out a little bit earlier, and the torque limiter wouldn't go up to 65 inch-pounds, even though 65 inch-pounds was indicated on it. So I'm not sure how this last one is going to bear out, but we're going to try it. So that's 65 inch-pounds. So Fix-It-Sticks in the literature tells you not to exceed 65 inch-pounds on these torque limiters. I haven't exceeded 65 inch-pounds, at least with the lines, so we'll see what happens. We'll see if it goes up to 65 inch-pounds. See, it won't torque over any farther than that. And that's actually at 65. The line won't line up, it just stops. Yeah, the line just stops, 59. It just stops. And that's 64. We'll do that one a fourth time because even though the line isn't going all the way over to 65, it seems to stop at 65. That's a hard stop right there in the limiter. That one's 61.4. We'll try it one last time. 62. So a little bit more than 2% on that one, I think, because it's fairly inconsistent. Because you're hitting a hard wall. 2% would be 63.7 to 66.3, and I think we're just under that. So does this change my opinion of Fix-It-Sticks? Somewhat. It's more accurate than I originally gave it credit for. Would I use this on a bench, assembling guns, torquing down optics and stuff like that? No, I wouldn't. Would I use this in a field toolkit to get it as close as I can, given the limitations of not being at home? Yeah, I will. I'm going to throw this into my toolkit for my competition bag, and I would feel fairly confident if I had to retorque an optic mount, rings, something along those lines, that I could get reasonably close enough to this to get by until I could get home and check it. This one will be going in the trash. It's met its service life, you know. Mechanical stuff breaks, and that one's done. This one, I think that's going to take a little bit more testing. If this was foot-pounds, you could get a torque converter and check it, but inch-pounds is a little bit more difficult to deal with. So thanks for cluing me in on these. I didn't even know Wheeler made a digital version of this, but now that I have it, quite happy with it. It's nice to see your max torque, or you can watch real-time torque or live torque, and then peak. And yeah, this is a pretty nice little tool. I think this is well worth the money. So I got to eat a little crow on this one. Fix-It-Sticks is better than I originally gave it credit for, but it's still not as accurate as I would really like it to be. But in a pinch, it'll work. So thanks for watching, and if you got any questions, hit me up on Facebook or leave a comment below.